Upon coming here, we had a list of several different stores, and we went in to try to get an idea of what thrifting would be out here versus back home. We went through many stores without problem until we got to this store in Old Town called Central Power. We walked up to the store, we were looking at racks that they had outside of the building, and then the owner comes out and approaches us and starts watching us go through the clothes. Switzerland is marketed as this progressive and sustainable country with direct democracy allowing every citizen their own right to put their ideas into policy. This gave us the idea that coming here we wouldn't face the same problems that we would in the US or other countries dealing with racism.
It was then that we encountered our first racist experience in Zürich. That's when we realized that the basis of this project shouldn't be about thrifting, but should be about the racism we naturally experience as Black men while in Europe.
By United Nations officials. In January this year, they traveled across Switzerland and met with people of African descent, along with politicians, police representatives, and civil society groups. At the end of their investigation, they concluded that Switzerland had a hidden problem of prejudice.
When I first lived here in 2011, very, very few Black people around. If I saw one Black person each day, it was like, oh my God, I saw a Black person. To now, it's a very different city. It's a much more multicultural, much more multiracial city. It is a problem. It's a problem that Zurich shares with a lot of the world, but it's also something that these countries are having to cope with, to deal with.
The Swiss People's Party is a right-wing populist political party in Switzerland, known for their very conservative stances. The SVP is particularly noted for its strong opposition to immigration and its advocacy for Swiss sovereignty. The Black Sheep propaganda campaign is one of the most infamous and controversial campaigns associated with the SVP. In 2007, the SVP launched a campaign featuring a poster that depicted 3 white sheep standing on a Swiss flag, kicking a black sheep out of the country. The accompanying slogan read, "For more security," suggested that expelling certain groups of people would make Switzerland safer. This imagery was widely interpreted as a metaphor for expelling immigrants. It was met with significant backlash both within Switzerland and internationally. Critics argued that the imagery was overly racist as it played on harmful stereotypes and dehumanized immigrants by depicting them as black sheep who needed to be removed to maintain security.
Who have not faced racism here in Switzerland should not open their mouths to say that there's no racism here. Like, how do you come up with that? Just because you have not experienced racism does not mean that there's no racism. Probably every Black person here has experienced like being in a bus with a 4-seater and the whole bus is literally full, right? So the whole bus is full and you are sitting on a 4-seater as a Black person. The other 3 seats are empty. I see people who deadass like look me in my eyes. They literally just look me in my eyes and give up this like dirty look.
You know, incidents like that, microaggression incidents that sometimes you think is there, but you don't know if it's real. Sometimes it's real, are things that are really, it just makes you second guess yourself in different situations. So yes, I have had experiences of that sort.
And I said, no, see the black one, the one that's folded over, and she said, no, you don't want to see that one. You want to see this one because that one will cost too much. You will not be able to afford that. No, I really did want to see that one. And she refused to get it. She refused to get it. And she started to show me these other little bags. And I said, one more time I tried, I said, but I really do just really want to see that one. And she said, oh, I don't want to hurt your feelings. And I said, okay, thank you so much. You're probably right. I can't afford it. And I walked out of the store.
You often have to prove yourself. You walk in a room and you see you're already prejudged, right? And so you come in there with already, the starting point is different from where in the regular Swiss or German person will start from, right? So you need to start to catch up to them the expectations and what they think about Africa or whatever, you know, and then if you're lucky, they give you a chance.
Right.
Homegrown is complicated for finding a work. It will be complicated for finding an apartment and stuff, like because of my name and because of how I look.
It doesn't have the colonial past, or overtly, it doesn't have the colonial past of places like France or England or Germany. But it profited in many ways from profited on the backs of colonial trading in places like Indonesia. And I think that is a really important thing that this society is just starting to grapple with, because they see themselves as somewhat above the fray, but they're beginning to understand that this is not exactly true.
While Switzerland may not have had a history of direct colonization, they do have a long strung out history of financing colonies and bolstering their economy through the slave trade. The Potumba Villa was once a prominent slave plantation, with its cash crop being tobacco. Today, it stands as a museum showcasing the distorted means in which the property previously made their money, enslaved farmers. Partnered with Diet Helm & Co., a Swiss trading company in Singapore, the Potumba Villa quickly grew in size and wealth. Switzerland loves to claim they were not colonizers and have held a neutral status. But is that really true? Financing colonizers is enabling and assisting the colonization of another land or people. And similarly to how Switzerland assisted in arming the Axis power in World War II, this is a clear contradiction to their claims. One cannot assist another and claim a neutral standing. Colonization is not neutral. This is very similar to what we are seeing in the coming elections in the United States. Many citizens in the United States who claim to be Democrats also claim to be unable to vote for Joe Biden in the 2024 elections. Many saying they would likely not vote for either party rather than vote for Joe Biden. Though this is not true neutrality. A decline in registered Democratic voters would only lead to heightening the possibility for the Republican Party, Donald Trump, to make it into office. There can be no true neutrality when combating fascism. To do nothing is to be complacent.
If they do programs for Africans or blacks, if they increase the quota system, because they have a quota system to come in here for Europe and generally, right? So I think they need to do more to help get blacks over here. Maybe programs like school, exchange programs, whatever, just to get them here, study, help them, professionals, and that will probably help.
The city of Zurich itself is a fairly open society. It's 40% immigrant. It has very progressive laws towards immigrant. It has very progressive attitudes. There is a sense in this society that immigrants are essential to the functioning of this society. So some of the laws reflect that, and some of the things that they've tried to do over the years, like afford immigrants the vote, even without becoming citizens, are very progressive approaches. But there have been in the past few years anti-racist demonstrations, anti-racist campaigns amongst the more progressive part of the population. The city also has been, a lot of people in the city have also taken a strong stance against the genocide going on in Palestine. So yes, you see that as a strong strain in the city.
There have been a couple of protests, but you know, it resides in the hearts of men, and you can't change what they think,
Right.
Unless everybody globally works towards that. And that starts from the media, the government, the policies, then it trickles down to the masses.
I think Zurich is a wonderful place to live.